Look at your life. You're tired, you're stressed, and you're broke. And yet you still hold on to this idea that working hard is your ticket out. You think that if you just put in more hours and sweat a little more, someone will finally notice and reward you. Wake up. The people at the top didn't get there by working harder than you. They got there by making sure you worked harder for them. While you're proud of being the first one in and the last one out, your boss is at home, getting rich off the hours of your life you'll never get back. Machiavelli knew a truth that your parents were too scared to tell you. Hard work is for the people who don't know how to use leverage. If you are the most reliable worker in the room, you are also the most trapped. Why would they ever promote you when they can keep you in the trenches doing the work of 3 people for the price of 1? Right now, as you sit there exhausted and drained, someone is getting rich off the virtue you call a work ethic. They told you that if you just bled a little more, if you just stayed a little later, the world would eventually recognize your value and hand you a crown. They lied. The world doesn't reward the person who carries the heaviest stones. It rewards the person who owns the quarry. Today, we stop the machine. We are burning the manual of the servant. We are going to expose the 3 psychological traps that keep you working like a slave while dreaming like a king. I am going to show you how to stop being useful and start being dangerous. By the time this is over, the word hard work will taste like ash in your mouth, and you will finally understand why the most powerful man in the room isn't the one doing the most work, it's the one who controls the people doing it. If you want to keep being a star employee while your life slips away, scroll past. But if you want to learn how to own the game instead of playing it, stay. Because the first step to freedom is realizing that your hustle is just a fancy word for slavery. You need to understand the 3 psychological traps that have turned your brain into a prison. These aren't just mistakes, they are built-in features of a system designed to keep you productive but powerless. The first trap is the ethics of the earnest. This is the voice in your head that says, if I do a good job, I will be rewarded. It's a fairy tale for children. In the arena of power, doing a good job only earns you more work. Look at your own office. Who gets the extra projects? Who gets the emergency calls on a Saturday? It's not the incompetent guy, it's you. Because you've proven you will take the weight. You've taught everyone around you that your time has no value because you give it away so easily in exchange for a good job email. You are addicted to the praise of people who are using you as a footstool. You think you are building a reputation, but you are actually just building a cage. The more reliable you are, the more invisible you become as a candidate for leadership. Leaders don't do the work, they manage the pressure. By taking the work, you are telling the world you are a follower. If you finally realized that your sweat is just someone else's lubricant, then drop this in the comments, slave no more. The second trap is the illusion of the ladder. You've been told that success is a steady climb. You think that if you just master your current role, the next one is yours. But the ladder is a treadmill. While you are focusing on your tasks and your KPIs, the real players are focusing on their relationships and their optics. You are so busy looking down at your desk that you haven't noticed that the people being promoted over you aren't the best workers, they are the best positioners. They know how to speak the language of the elite, while you are still speaking the language of the labor. You are perfecting your craft, while they are perfecting their control. Think about the last time a promotion came up. Did it go to the person who did the most overtime? Or did it go to the person who knew the boss's vision and spent their time making the boss feel secure? You are being outplayed because you believe the lie that merit is what moves the needle. Merit is a tool used by owners to keep the workers competing with each other. It keeps you focused on the person next to you instead of the person above you. The third trap is the sunk cost of suffering. This is the most dangerous one. You've put so much effort into your current path, so many sleepless nights, so much stress, that you feel like you can't stop now. You feel like if you stop working this hard, all that previous pain was for nothing. You are literally doubling down on a losing hand because you're too proud to admit you were tricked. You've bought into the hustle culture that tells you sleep is for the weak and that the grind is a lifestyle. But look at the results. Is your bank account changing as fast as your stress levels? Is your status in the community rising, or are you just becoming the person everyone knows they can dump their problems on? Your suffering isn't an investment, it's a tax. And you are paying it to a world that doesn't even know your name. You are sacrificing your health, your youth, and your peace for the hope that one day the people who are farming your energy will decide you've had enough. They won't. They will milk you until you are dry and then find a fresh replacement. This is the reality you are living in. You are a king who has been convinced he is a servant. You are sitting on a throne of potential, but you're too busy cleaning the floor to realize it. The machine wants you to stay tired. A tired person doesn't rebel. A tired person doesn't plan. A tired person just tries to survive until Friday. Stop the machine. Right now. Admit to yourself that you've been playing by the wrong rules. Admit that your work ethic has been a weapon used against you. This isn't about being lazy. It's about being strategic. It's about realizing that the most valuable thing you own is not your labor, but your scarcity. The more available you are, the less you are worth. The harder you work, the more you drive down your own price. From this moment, you need to change your relationship with effort. You need to start seeing every task as a potential trap. Ask yourself, does doing this move me closer to power, or does it just make someone else's life easier? If the answer is the latter, you are being farmed. You need to develop a cold eye for your own actions. Stop doing the extra. Stop being the hero of the office. The hero is the first one to die in the story. You don't want to be the hero. You want to be the architect. You've been taught that ambition means doing more. I'm telling you that true ambition means owning more, and you cannot own anything if you are too busy doing everything. You are currently a slave to your own competence. People come to you because you're good at it. Every time you say yes to a task because you're good at it, you are signing another day of your life over to someone else's vision. The audit is just beginning. You've seen the traps. You've felt the bars of the cage. Now you have to decide if you're going to stay inside because it's safe, or if you're ready to learn the language of the owners. The world is divided into those who provide the energy and those who direct it. You have been a provider for too long. It's time to stop the flow. It's time to become the one who decides where the energy goes. The shift is coming. You feel the pressure rising. You realize that your safety was actually your stagnation. The next step isn't to work harder. It's to learn how to move in the dark, how to use the reliability trap to your advantage, and how to start withdrawing your labor in a way that makes the people above you realize just how much they actually depend on you. You're going to move from being a resource to being a requirement, and once you are a requirement, you can name your price. You are currently a victim of your own excellence. You think that by being the best at what you do, the world will have no choice but to elevate you. You've been operating under the assumption that high performance is a ladder. It isn't. In the world of real power, high performance is a gilded cage. Look at your workplace. Look at your social circle. Who is the person getting the most work piled onto their desk? It's you. Who is the person people call when they've messed up and need a miracle? It's you. You've become the problem solver, the expert, the rock. And while you're busy being the foundation of the building, others are busy moving into the penthouse. This is the curse of the high performer. When you are too good at a specific task, you become a strategic liability to lose. If you are a world-class engineer, your boss would be an idiot to make you a manager. If he promotes you, he loses his best engineer and gains a rookie manager. He'd rather keep you exactly where you are, feed your ego with a top performer award, and hire someone else, someone less useful but more political to lead you. You aren't being promoted because you're too valuable to move. You've worked yourself into a dead end. Think about the slackers you see getting ahead. It drives you crazy, doesn't it? You see people who do 20% of the work you do, yet they get the raises, the connections, and the respect. You call it office politics or unfairness. I call it strategic laziness. While you were busy perfecting the details, they were busy perfecting their visibility. While you were working on the what, they were working on the who. They understood that in any hierarchy, the person who does the work is always subordinate to the person who represents the work. By working so hard, you have signaled to everyone that your time is cheap. You are always available. You are always willing to go the extra mile. You have effectively lowered your own market value by creating an infinite supply of your labor. In the cold logic of Machiavelli, anything that is abundant is cheap. Anything that is scarce is expensive. By being the hardest worker, you have made yourself the cheapest asset in the room. You've noticed the shift in how people treat you, haven't you? They don't ask for your help anymore, they demand it. They don't respect your boundaries because you've never set any. You've trained them to expect your sacrifice. You've become a utility like electricity or water. People only notice you when you stop working, and even then, they don't feel gratitude for your past service. They feel anger that the tool is broken. Let's expose the reality of your pride. You hold on to your hard work because it's the only thing that makes you feel superior. You look down on the lazy ones to cope with the fact that they are winning. You tell yourself, at least I have integrity, or at least I'm a hard worker. That is the coping mechanism of a servant. Integrity doesn't pay for your freedom. Hard work doesn't buy back your time. You are using your virtue as a shield to hide the fact that you are terrified of the social game. You'd rather work 80 hours a week in a basement than spend 1 hour navigating the cold, calculated world of power because the basement is safe. The basement is where you know the rules. But the rules of the basement will never make you a king. You need to understand the law of induced blindness. When you are constantly grinding, your vision narrows. You see the task in front of you, but you miss the shifts in the landscape. You miss the new alliances being formed. You miss the moment your department becomes obsolete. You are like a soldier who is so busy cleaning his rifle that he doesn't notice the enemy has already surrounded the camp. Your hard work hasn't made you diligent. It has made you blind. The people who control your life want you in this state. They want you focused on the grind because a distracted worker is a compliant worker. As long as you are obsessed with your KPIs and your deadlines, you won't have the energy to question why you are doing the work in the first place. You are being kept in a state of perpetual busyness to prevent you from becoming a threat. Look at your relationships. You bring this same work ethic home. You try to earn love. You try to work hard at being a good partner or a good friend by doing everything for everyone. And what do you get? You get taken for granted. You get people who only call you when they need something. You've turned your personal life into a second job where you are also the most exploited employee. It stops now. You have to break the reliability trap. You have to become inconvenient. From this moment on, you will stop being the safety net for other people's failures. When someone misses a deadline, let it stay missed. When a project is heading for a cliff, don't throw your body under the wheels to stop it. Let it crash. You need the world to see what happens when you don't work. You need to remind them that your contribution is a choice, not a given. You're afraid, aren't you? You're afraid that if you stop being the hard worker, they'll realize they don't need you. Good. Let that fear sharpen you. If your only value is the volume of labor you produce, you aren't a player, you're a commodity. And commodities are replaced as soon as a cheaper version comes along. You need to transition from being useful to being essential. A useful person is someone who does the work. An essential person is someone who knows how the work gets done, who knows where the bodies are buried, and who holds the keys to the gate. One is a laborer, the other is a gatekeeper. You have been conditioned to feel guilty for sitting still. You feel like you're wasting time if you aren't producing something. This is the slave mind speaking. The sovereign knows that the most productive thing you can do is observe. You need to spend more time watching the board and less time moving the pieces. You've been told that action is the key to success. Machiavelli tells you that inaction is often a more powerful weapon. By doing nothing, you force others to act. By staying silent, you force others to speak. By refusing to work, you force others to realize their own incompetence. The transition is brutal. It requires you to watch things fail. It requires you to handle the disappointment of people whose opinion shouldn't matter to you anyway. But on the other side of that discomfort is leverage. You are currently a beast of burden. You have the strength, you have the stamina, and you have the discipline. But you lack the intent. You are running in a circle because you're following the path someone else laid out for you. It's time to step off the track. If you've stopped being the fuel and started being the flame, drop this in the comments. I own the machine. The audit is moving deeper. You've seen how your excellence traps you. You've seen how your virtue blinds you. Now, we are going to look at the shadow economy of effort. I am going to show you how the world's most powerful people use your hard work to buy their own freedom, and how you can start doing the same. You've been playing for the wrong team. It's time to switch sides. You are currently acting as a host for a parasite. Think about the visionaries you work for, the leaders you follow, or the charismatic friends who always seem to be moving up while you stay grounded. You've noticed it, haven't you? They don't have your technical skills. They don't have your endurance. They don't even have your attention to detail. Yet they own the company, they get the credit, and they keep the profit. You call them lucky or well-connected. The truth is much colder. They have mastered the art of the parasitic exchange. In nature, a parasite doesn't work to find food. It finds a host that is already working and attaches itself. In the world of power, your hard work is the food. These people aren't your mentors or your partners. They are predators who have identified you as a high-yield laborer. They provide you with just enough praise, just enough of a bonus, and just enough vision to keep you producing. They are the ones who understand that the most efficient way to build a skyscraper is to find 1,000 people who take pride in laying bricks and convince them that the privilege of working on the project is their reward. Look at your bank account compared to your output. If you disappeared tomorrow, your leaders would feel a temporary inconvenience while they looked for a new host. But if they disappeared, you would realize you have no idea how to actually navigate the world of power, because you've spent all your time staring at the bricks. You have been trained to be a specialist, which is just a polite word for a tool, and tools are never the masters of the house. Let's look at a scenario you live through every week. You spend 40 hours perfecting a report, a design, or a strategy. You hand it over to your superior. They take that work, spend 10 minutes putting their name on the cover page, and present it to the board or the client. They get the handshake, they get the good job, they get the equity. You get a thanks for the support email. You feel that burn in your chest, don't you? That's your ego telling you that you've been robbed, but you haven't been robbed. You've been out-strategized. You traded your intellectual property for security. You were too afraid to take the risk of leading, so you sold your labor to someone who was brave enough to use you. You are the engine, but they are the driver. No one cares how hard the engine is working if the driver is steering it into a wall. And more importantly, when the car arrives at the destination, it's the driver who gets out and walks into the party, while the engine stays in the parking lot to cool down. You've been told that teamwork makes the dream work. That is the most successful propaganda ever invented to keep you compliant. In a team, there is always one person who does the work and one person who takes the credit. If you don't know who is taking the credit on your team, it's because you are the one doing the work. You are financing someone else's lifestyle with your sweat. You are the human battery powering their dream. Machiavelli warned that if you make someone else powerful, you are destined for ruin. By being too useful, you have made your superiors powerful enough to replace you. You have given them the wealth and the time to build a system where you are no longer necessary. Every hour of overtime you put in is a brick in the wall they are building to keep you out of the inner circle. Stop thinking like a good worker. A good worker is a person who solves problems for their master. A sovereign is a person who owns the problems. Think about your current project. Why are you doing it? If your answer is because I was told to, or because I need the money, you are in the parasite's stomach. You are being digested. To break out, you must stop being the laborer and start being the architect of information. Information is the only thing that cannot be easily replaced. Anyone can work hard, anyone can stay late, but not everyone knows the specific hidden weaknesses of the company, the secret desires of the client, or the true state of the competition. The parasite wins because they have more information than you. They know the big picture while you are focused on the pixels. You need to stop looking down at your work and start looking sideways at the players. Who is actually making the decisions? What are they afraid of? What do they need that money can't buy? You have been conditioned to believe that taking credit is selfish or wrong. That is a lie designed to make you easy to rob. In the arena of power, if you don't claim your work, someone else will. And they won't feel guilty about it. They will see it as a management fee. They will tell themselves that they organized you, and therefore the result belongs to them. You are currently experiencing burnout. You tell people you're tired because you're working so hard. No, you're tired because you're being drained. There is a massive difference between the exhaustion of a man building his own house and the exhaustion of a man building a prison for himself. Your soul knows the difference even if your mind is trying to ignore it. You are losing your spark because you know deep down that none of this effort belongs to you. You need to start performing strategic withdrawal. You need to see what happens when the host stops providing. You need to identify exactly which parts of your work are the essential nutrients for the parasite above you. And then you must begin to withhold them. Not all at once, that's a strike and it gets you fired. You do it slowly. You become less efficient. You forget to include the key insights. You make them realize that without your specific input, they look incompetent. You are shifting the power dynamic. You are moving from a service provider to a critical infrastructure. You want to reach the point where the person above you is terrified of losing you, not because you work hard, but because you are the only thing keeping their own reputation alive. You are putting a leash on the person who thought they owned you. This is the path to the sovereign exit. You aren't working to get a promotion. You are working to gather enough information, connections and capital to become the parasite's competitor. You are using their office, their equipment and their clients as a laboratory to build your own empire. You aren't a loyal employee, you are an infiltrator. You feel that? That shift in your perspective. That's the feeling of your work ethic being replaced by tactical intent. You aren't grinding anymore, you are mining. You are extracting value from the system instead of letting the system extract value from you. The audit is sharpening. You've exposed the traps. You've seen the parasites. Now, we are going to look at the myth of the future. I am going to show you why waiting for your turn is a death sentence, and why the most dangerous thing you can do is have a 5-year plan that relies on anyone but yourself. The machine is starting to creak. It's time to see what happens when you stop being the oil and start being the sand. You are currently a ghost in your own life. You haunt the office, the gym, and the kitchen, moving with a frantic energy that produces nothing but exhaustion. You think that by being the hardest worker, you are making your presence felt. You aren't. You are actually making yourself invisible. In the world of power, the man who is always visible and always working is the man who is never feared. You have become a constant. People know exactly what you'll do, how much you'll tolerate, and how hard you'll push. You are a predictable machine, and machines aren't respected. They are utilized until they break. To regain your power, you must master the law of strategic absence. You need to stop being the engine and start being the ghost in the machine. Look at your bank account. It's a direct reflection of how much of your time you are selling. This is the ultimate trap. As long as your income is tied to your hours, you are a prisoner of the clock. You have been taught that time is money, but that's a lie fed to the working class to keep them trading their lives for paper. The truth is that leverage is money. Time is a limited resource, leverage is infinite. If you work 16 hours a day, you have hit your ceiling. You can't work 30 hours. You are capped. You have built a cage where the only way to earn more is to suffer more. Machiavelli understood that the prince does not win by fighting every battle himself. He wins by positioning others to fight for him. You, however, are still in the trenches, swinging your sword at every shadow. You are afraid to let go because you don't trust the system to work without your hands on it. You have an ego attachment to the grind. You want to be the one who saves the day. You want the hero narrative, but heroes in history books are usually dead. The ones who lived to tell the story were the ones who stayed in the tent, looking at the map. Think about your current productivity apps, your calendars, and your to-do lists. They aren't tools for your freedom, they are logs for your overseers. You are optimizing your own slavery. You are finding ways to squeeze 10% more output out of a body that is already screaming for a break. Why? To what end? So you can get a slightly better performance review from a person who doesn't even know your children's names. You must detach your value from your activity. Right now, if you aren't doing, you feel like you aren't being. You feel guilty when you sit still. That guilt is the voice of your programming. It's the master in your head telling you to get back to the field. You need to cultivate the sovereign pause. You need to learn how to sit in a room and do nothing while the world around you panics. When you stop reacting to every emergency, you gain the one thing your bosses and peers don't have: perspective. Look at the outliers in your industry, the ones who seem to have all the money and all the time. Do they look busy? No, they look relaxed. They look bored. They are bored because they have automated the hard work. They have built systems, hired people, or used technology to do the grinding for them. They didn't get there by working harder. They got there by being ruthless with their time. They realized that every minute spent doing a task is a minute lost to strategy. You've been told that delegating is for the lazy. Machiavelli tells you that delegating is the first step to dominance. If you can pay someone $10 to do a task that frees up an hour of your time and you don't do it, you are saying your life is worth less than $10 an hour. You are insulting yourself every time you do peasant work. You are telling the universe that you are a servant, and the universe will always provide more service for a servant to do. Let's talk about the fear of being replaced. This is why you work so hard. You think that if you aren't the one doing the work, you aren't essential. You are wrong. The most essential person is the one who controls the outcome, not the one who produces it. The person who owns the secret recipe is more important than the cook. The person who owns the land is more important than the farmer. You have been focused on the skill of the labor, when you should have been focused on the ownership of the result. You need to start ghosting the production line. Start by removing yourself from one small task this week. Don't ask for permission, just stop doing it. See what happens. Most likely, the world won't end. Someone else will pick it up, or it will simply go undone because it wasn't important in the first place. You will feel a surge of anxiety. That's your slave mind panicking. Ignore it. Use that freed hour to think, to plan, to look for the exit. You are currently a high-end servant. You have a nice car, maybe a nice house, but you have zero sovereignty. If you stop working tomorrow, your life collapses. You are one bad quarter away from disaster. This is because you have invested all your energy into your labor and zero energy into your position. You have no moat around your life. The transition from hard worker to sovereign requires you to become a ghost in the system. You must learn how to be the person who makes things happen without being the person who does the things. You need to build a black box around your process. People should see the results you produce, but they should never see the effort. The moment they see you sweating, you lose your magic. You become just another worker, but if the results seem to appear out of nowhere, you are seen as a force of nature. You are seen as someone who has access to a different level of reality. This is the path to the sovereign exit. You are building a version of your life where you are the silent owner, the hidden hand, the ghost in the machine. You are moving from a world of activity to a world of impact. You're starting to see it now, aren't you? The hard work you were so proud of was actually your greatest weakness. It was the noise that kept you from hearing the signal. It was the clutter that kept you from seeing the door. We are approaching the final layer of the audit. You've seen the traps, you've seen the parasites, and you've seen the ghost. Now we are going to look at the final implosion. I am going to show you how to burn down your old work ethic and replace it with a cold autonomy that cannot be taken away. The era of your hustle isn't just dying, it needs to be executed. By now, you should feel a cold weight in your stomach. That isn't guilt. It's the realization that you have been the architect of your own exhaustion. You have spent years building a monument to your work ethic, only to realize it's actually your tombstone. The world didn't trick you. It simply gave you exactly what you asked for, a heavy load and a long road. You've been playing a game of more hours, more effort, more sacrifice. But the real game is who. Who is using whom? Who owns the result? Who gets to sleep while the money grows? If you are still the person doing the doing, you are still the person being done. Machiavelli didn't write for the people in the fields. He wrote for the people in the palace. And the first thing you learn in the palace is that sweat is for the servants. Look at the people you've been trying to impress. Your boss, your neighbors, your social media following. They don't want you to be a king. They want you to be a high performer. They want you to stay in your lane, keep the gears turning, and stay predictable. Every time you grind, you are proving to them that you belong exactly where you are. You are a safe bet. You are a good soldier. But the world doesn't belong to the good soldiers. It belongs to the ones who have the courage to desert the army and start their own. Machiavelli didn't write for the people who wanted to be liked. He wrote for the people who wanted to be free, and freedom has a price. The price is the comfort of your routine. The price is the security of your paycheck. The price is the respect of people who only like you because you're useful to them. If you aren't willing to pay that price, then stop watching. Go back to your desk, pick up your shovel, and don't complain when the person who did half the work gets twice the reward. But if you are still here, it's because something in you has shifted. You've felt the leash snap. You've realized that working hard is the worst thing you can do because it prevents you from working smartly. You are ready to stop being a gear and start being the architect. This transformation isn't a one-time event. It's a daily discipline of saying no to the peasant mind. It's about choosing leverage over effort every single time. If this realization hit you where it hurts, if it exposed the traps you've been living in, then like this video. It's not for me. It's a signal to yourself that you are aligning with a different level of reality. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. In the world of the shadow strike, timing is everything. For those of you who are done playing with toys, those who want to master the dark psychological architecture we've been discussing, the sovereign circle is open. This is our inner circle. It is where we strip away the public-facing fluff and get into the raw tactical execution of power. Click the join button below to cross the border from laborer to architect. Inside the membership, you get the Machiavellian blueprints, specific strategies for navigating workplace warfare, social leverage, and wealth creation that are too dangerous for the public feed. You get the live audits, where we break down your specific situations and engineer your move to the top. If you stay in the public comments, you're a spectator. If you join the circle, you're a player. The choice is yours, but remember, the gap between those who know and those who act is widening every day. Don't be left on the wrong side of that divide. I want to thank you for reaching the end. Very few people have the mental stamina to face these truths without blinking. You've shown the discipline of a sovereign. You didn't look away when it got uncomfortable. You didn't run when your ego was attacked. You stayed. That alone puts you ahead of 99% of the population. But attention without action is just entertainment. And I am not here to entertain you. I am here to arm you. The audit is over. The workhorse is dead. I'll see you in the next audit.